What are patterns? Okay. What are patterns? If you bring it down into its most basic format, a pattern is something that repeats over time. Okay. Now, that could be anything, that could be a daily routine. I mean, you think about when you wake up. Some of us wake up a lot at the same time every day. Some of us get up in the middle of the night at the same time every night. And I'm talking about yours truly. All right. Maybe you have patterns of what you eat. Okay. For example, one of my New Year's resolutions is I was swearing off sugar for as long as I can. Now, last year I made it to Valentine's Day. I want to see if I can extend that. I'm not talking about. The sugars that are in bread or in things where you can say, Tom, there's sugar in everything. I'm talking about the processed stuff. I'm talking about candy. I'm talking about chocolate. I'm talking about the intense caloric drinks, sodas, gone, all of it. It's gone. All right. But these are patterns. Now, I mean, even which side of the bed you sleep on, how you put your shoes on. Patterns make life easier. Okay. That you have repetition. Other patterns could save you money or even make you a few dollars. Here's a simple example. So my wife and I, I'm not one of those guys that goes out. I don't like shopping. I actually hate shopping. But there is something that my wife and I like to do, and, it involves Walmart and Target. This is something that, if you want to catch me shopping at like a Walmart or a Target, you got to go at night. Now, there's very little retailers have 24-hour days, but you got Walmart and Target that are open pretty late. Here's what I did after the holiday, and I gotta grab some props here because I want to show you this is real. There are clearance sections, and we make a game out of this. We get you take a look at stuff that you need, stuff I need all the time. Now, one of the things I need are disposable plates. We go through them all the time here. And a lot of it might be for me if I'm grabbing a quick meal and I don't want to make another dirty dish. And some of them might be things for, pets. So give you an idea, just last weekend, we are at Walmart and we found these things. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. Deck the halls, Christmas plate. Here's one with snow on it. All right. Plates. These plates are actually expensive. They're expensive when you get them during the holidays. But you know what? The ones that are out after the holidays, I mean, the season's over. So when the season's over, all of a sudden these things drop in price and they're pennies on the dollar what these things are going for. Nobody wants them anymore. But you know what? They still work. And so I'm buying them at a gross. They make great disposable cat food dishes because guess what? Even though the price dropped, the value didn't disappear. Now, these are seasonal opportunities and we find them all year long if you know where to look. The markets work the same way. That's why I focus on time-based seasonal patterns and not opinions. So let's talk about some seasonal patterns right now that are happening. And what I did was I took a look at all the seasonal patterns, and there's a bunch of them, but I wanted to give you my top 5, all right? My top 5 seasonal patterns for 2026, and I'm basing them on not only decades of data, but I'm basing them off of real published trades that we did using our alert service, which is Money Calendar Pro. And again, this is real data. This is real history I want to show you, and it's real results. All right, so let's take a look and see what I'm talking about here. So number 1, and I don't, I might have put them in order of lowest ROI to highest ROI. Number 1's JP Morgan. This is a trade that we put on. Now, this is starts around the end of every October. All right, so the last date we had was October 20th. This ended up being JP Morgan, a 112% ROI, took 77 days. And some of you were even commenting on this particular trade just last week. And thank you very much. And those of you that follow me and take these trades, excited, and we're excited about what's going on this year. We believe we're going to see some really great looking extensions on some of the stuff that we saw. But JP Morgan was a great trade we had on last year. Now, this particular one, if we want to follow this, we got to wait till October. But I want to show you the top 5, and I've got one of these that I want to share with you today. That's a now trade. So JP Morgan, number 1. Number 2 is PGR. All right, so Progressive Insurance Company. Now, it has a pattern that starts in the middle of May. And so this particular chart has 128% ROI in 50 days. All right, that's what we got out of it last year. Number 3, Costco. So Costco is a stock that I shop there quite a bit too. Right? It's amazing because, you look at this and one of the number one things that goes on in retail industry right now that we hear about is theft. Slippage is what they like to call it in the retail industry. It's rather hard for theft to happen at Costco because you got 2 things going on here at Costco. Number 1, you've got this stuff's in bulk. How are you going to hide something from Costco under your dress or in your purse or under your jacket? You can't. You're going to look like you tripled in weight. You can't do it. It's bulk. Number 2, you got the highlighter guy after you check out, you push your cart to the right when you're about to get out the exit door, and you got highlighter guy over there that's checking out everything. So Costco really has put a damper on thievery, if you will. That's just little sliver. We all know what Costco does. They're very efficient at what they do. But you know what? I like patterns, and Costco's a really great pattern that starts in February, 150% in 13 days. All right. Number 4, and it just gets better. Gold, GLD, the Street Tracks Gold ETF. So this one's one that's interesting too because it has a pattern that starts in March. And you know what I love about gold right now? What I like about gold is that gold is hitting new all-time high after all-time high after all-time high. So you know what I like as much as a seasonal pattern that comes in? A seasonal pattern that's on a stock that's already jumping up in price because now I'm not going against the grain. I'm not looking for a turn, although it can happen. I love patterns where we're already moving in the same direction and all we're looking for is continued momentum. Last year, we had this at 153% return on 23 days. We actually had a couple of trades on GLD. This was the best one in not only just with 10 years of data, but in the last year, we pulled out quite a bit. Folks, my conclusion when it comes to seasonality, and we're going into January right now, so there's a lot of seasonal patterns that are happening. I've got January effect, which is first day of January, first week. So goes the first week, so goes the first month. The first week was a little bit iffy. And so as we come into today, you've got another mixed market where you're seeing banks, the banks are down. A lot of that's based on the cap, that proposed cap that's likely to happen here. Trump's talking about on January 20th for credit card debt. But here's the thing. All right, you've got January pattern. We got a February pattern we're looking at in oil. These are long-term patterns, but here is the conclusion of patterns. I don't trade memes. Not one thing I talked about here in this particular segment had anything to do with I think it's going up, I hope it's going up, oh my God, it's not going up. That's not what we do here. We don't trade on memes. We don't trade on hype. We don't trade on emotion, okay? Pattern trading gives us the ability to go in and be able to look at rules-based, time-tested, entry, exit date, et cetera, et cetera. Not any bit of word in there came in with memes, hypes, or emotions. And, here's something about charts. I'm not crazy about charts with all the squiggly lines on it. And I'm talking about indicator after indicator after indicator. Too many indicators lead to no decisions. I prefer real scenarios. I prefer real probabilities. And I prefer these time-based expectations. That's what I prefer. That's what I love about looking at the markets. These particular rules-based trades.